TPD releasing this 8-page initial police report today, but most of the information on here redacted. To some of the residents here, this pile of rubble that you see behind me, it's just that. It's the remains of a fire. The athletes who lace up their shoes are what draw in this big crowd of people, ultimately funneling in millions of dollars to Leon County. Upon arriving on the scene, first responders go through triage, determining which wounds and victims are most urgent and getting them help immediately. In this home that we're at right here on Brevard Street, it is one of those 44 potential demo cases with the city. We're on about day 5 of this, so when you talk to students on campus, you get that slight eye roll. They're sick about hearing these rumors and they're just ready for a decision. But it didn't look like this at other points in the day. Sometimes there was no sand, nothing.
What was the feeling like inside the Capitol?
Well, there was a lot of anticipation leading up to when they actually spoke. It's not the first time that the idea of consolidation has come up. It's been on the ballot 4 separate times, and each time, failing. But you don't need to look far to find a city that does operate this way. Julie, Ben, there are about 940 city employees with city-issued cell phones. It doesn't stem from a number you see on the scale or the body type you see in the mirror. It all starts right here, a mental health issue many don't know enough about. Abby, that building, it's still closed off behind me. I'll step aside so you can see the tape still up, marking it off. Luckily, everyone making it out safely.
Capital City correspondent Mariel Carbone is investigating this evening. Mariel?
Well, Ben, the tourism development tax brings in millions of dollars for the county each year, and that money helps support tourism initiatives from marketing to infrastructure like the Cascades Amphitheater. But the enforcement of that, not always so simple. Cleaning up for clients. Deidre Mitchell operates this vacation rental home in Midtown, taking in a few $100 a night.
It's almost like you're renting out your home and now you have a mini business.
Keeping up with taxes, a small but important price to pay.
You can see that $9 was taken from the guests.
She's registered with the county to pay taxes, but admits not all home sharing hosts are.
I think people just decided, since there's not a clear understanding, that they just opt out at this time.
Under state and local law, all short-term rentals, from hotels like the DoubleTree to Airbnbs, are required to pay the county's 5% tourism development tax. Last year, the county collected $5.8 million. What is the importance of this?
It's for the community.
Doris Malloy is Leon County's tax collector. She says for vacation rentals, the responsibility of collecting the bed tax falls on the host. But because it's the honor system, we're finding the county could be missing out on money. According to Malloy, aside from hotels and motels, only 59 entities, including apartments, townhomes, and condos, are registered with the tax collector's office. A quick survey on home sharing sites finds many, many more.
We can go out and say, well, we see that you're advertising your home to be, for lease. And we could contact that individual and they say, oh, no, we didn't do anything. That's about the extent of it.
4 major home sharing companies operate in Leon County. The 2 biggest players, Airbnb and Expedia's HomeAway, or VRBO.
There's confusion about what taxes apply. Am I responsible? How often am I supposed to do it?
Ben Bright is working to change that. He's with Airbnb and says the company is trying to make it easier for hosts to stay compliant. Last year, it entered an agreement with Leon County to collect and remit the tax for its hosts. In 6 months, it collected $58,000 for the county.
It just ensures that there are no discrepancies, no confusion. Everyone's paying the same taxes.
But then there are others. Hi, Philip. This is Mariel Carbone with WCTV. In Florida, HomeAway only has a tax agreement in Broward County. We reached out for comment, but did not hear back. Right now, roughly 90 homes are listed on VRBO's website alone. That's more than the 59 rentals registered with the county.
I do think that we are missing out. To say let's create a unit to go out and enforce, I don't think so.
Some county officials believe the right move is for a regulatory framework that compels these companies to follow the law. For hosts like Mitchell, they just like to see some consistency.
So it could be fair amongst all the hosts and all the different platforms.
Keeping hosts compliant while also keeping guests comfortable. Julie, Ben, there's no saying exactly how much money the county is missing out on, but Malloy says that if they ever felt it was a significant enough amount, they would make sure to find a way to enforce this. Much more on this story on our website, WCTV.tv.
New at 6, Capital City correspondent Mariel Carbone dives into what the idea actually means.
It's a term most often heard in business. Consolidation, the merging of two companies, like these 8 airlines becoming 4, saving costs and creating efficiency.
Aircraft over the numbers, phone 2.
The idea also spilling into government.
Would that work well for us and improve our business climate?
Some feel streamlined government can be achieved by merging Leon County and the city of Tallahassee.
Like I said, it'd be one-stop shopping.
Because maybe all the taxes could be unified.
But on the other hand, who wants to give up power?
The Chamber of Tallahassee commissioning this study. It looks at economic benefits and best practices in 5 consolidated governments, from Athens, Georgia to Nashville, Tennessee. The study finds a consolidated government could grow GDP, add jobs, and increase take-home pay.
It is not to say that that is exactly what would happen in Tallahassee, but the possibility is there, and that gives us hope.
It's not the first time that the idea of consolidation has come up. It's been on the ballot 4 separate times, and each time, failing. But you don't need to look far to find a city that does operate this way. Welcome to Jacksonville, deemed the bold new city of the South when Duval County and Jacksonville consolidated. That was back in 1968. The idea cemented by legislation after a bout of political corruption. One of the few things remaining from that divisive time, this white hat of consolidation, pulled from a time capsule in 2000.
A little tattered and worse for wear is highly symbolic of exactly our consolidation effort.
Jacksonville City and Duval County are governed by a strong mayor, 14 districts and 19 council members. Lori Boyer is one.
There is a single unit of government that's accountable.
Boyer is chair of the city's consolidation task force. It spent nearly a year analyzing its government back in 2014. One issue, as both the population and economy grow, so too does the demand for services.
The whole operation just becomes larger and more challenging. Keeping it efficient, keeping it responsive, where people know how to get an answer, know who to talk to.
The task force also found a one-size-fits-all approach didn't necessarily unify departments or meet the unique needs of the neighborhoods. Still, Boyer is an advocate.
I think at the size you're at, it's probably a very viable and useful tool.
It's not a silver bullet. It's not a panacea to your problems.
Samuel Staley is director at Florida State's DeVoe Moore Center. He spent decades studying consolidation.
It is something to consider, but Tallahassee, Leon County is a very complicated place.
He says one option, first consider combining services instead of the entire government, since there is no actual consensus that consolidation is a one-size-fits-all solution.
The problem with the Chamber study is that they take the best consolidations and they look at that sort of as if they're raising the bar, saying this is what the best potential is.
It's not a sprint, it's a process that we're going through because we want to make the right decisions.
Next, a 9-member appointed committee by the Chamber will look to see if the idea can actually take flight, weighing all factors and looking at all sides, making sure no turbulence is hit along the way. Studies show that there is no guarantee that consolidating actually saves costs. In fact, if you look at property tax rates from last year, Jacksonville's is lower than Miami, pretty equal to Orlando, and actually higher than Tampa.